god, episode 6.
Episode 6, but we're reviewing episode 7. Oh yeah, welcome back. We're more than halfway done now. I'm sad, but this episode was extreme.
It was pretty great. It had all of the things that you could ask for things.
Oh,
it was beautiful.
Oh, by the way, I'm Kat.
Oh, and I'm Russell.
Didn't
and
say
we got
that,
so excited that we forgot to introduce ourselves. But if you've been listening, you know who we are.
You know.
But oh my
Unless
gosh!
you're jumping ahead and just starting on episode 6, which... What? Why?
You a dum-dum!
Why? Go binge the rest of them.
Ah!
But we're here now, and we have reviewed this episode, and we're glad to share our opinions. We have reviewed this episode, and we are glad to share our opinions and our views and
our feels.
Everything about this episode. Okay, so we start this episode off, and we're still with the old crew from last episode with Uzoi and Haitora.
Yep.
And I guess they're just kind of like wrapping up the journey. I can't tell if that opening scene kind of happens right after the last episode, because Uzoi is still crying, which I can't tell if she's like just having another crying spell of the emotional trauma of what has occurred.
Yeah.
But Somali keeps calling her a crybaby.
I think of it as happening later just because she says, "Aha, I knew you were a crybaby," which feels like something you wouldn't say right after your friend has been told, like, "Yeah, my dad ate my mom, yay!"
But didn't she?
No, she called her a crybaby when she was like, she was just upset about stuff. She was just like, "Oh, I'm so sad," and Smalley's like, "You're a little whiny bitch, baby."
Whiny bitch, baby, get out of here, you whiny bitch, baby. That's what I thought. Like, every time she said that, I was like, "Damn, Somali."
I know, she's fucking heartless. She's just like, "Why you a whiny bitch, baby? Don't be such a whiny bitch, baby." Yeah, in general, Somali's kind of a hard ass, and
but also
really into
she's
calling
a
people whiny
bitch
babies
too.
Yeah, I know. Like, what?
She cries in this episode.
Like twice, right?
Yeah, but is it twice?
I think she cries a tiny bit when they're about to leave, aren't Uzoi and Haitora?
She cries like behind the scenes with Uzoi when she's like, "But I don't want to leave. I want to see you guys again." And then they're like, "Yeah, we will see each other again." Which,
but it was literally like yesterday, whiny bitch, baby.
Yeah.
That night, that like later next night.
Baby, why you fucking whining?
Like, what the fuck, man?
You little bitch, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
It was pretty great.
But anyway,
and that's kind of like the first third, really. Like that's the first third.
It.
They
get to
Papa
know
Gollum. Oh, go ahead.
They find out that there's a Sorry, my cat just jumped up on the bed, and that probably didn't sound good. So Haitora tells Papa Gollum that there is a city. I think it's on the south edge of the desert.
West.
Southwest.
You go west from the desert. Yeah.
Okay. But there's a library out there that has a bunch of information, and they're looking for information on humans. So
right, and it's supposed to be information collected from the entire world, which is like very interesting. I want to know way more about that library.
Definitely. But so they're like, all right, well, I guess that's where we're going. And apparently they were very close, or we got a huge time skip because they just found the forest, which I find it very there wasn't a great transition between desert and forest. Like, I think they made one comment where it was like, "Oh, it's getting cooler," or it's something happened.
It was literally, oh, it's so cool. Yes, that's how you know we're at the edge of the desert.
Yeah,
it was literally
but
that.
like terrain-wise, it wasn't a great transition.
Yeah.
But what was a great transition was the transition from regular forest to dense forest.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the little montage that happened afterward.
Oh, by the way, I just have to add in, I have gotten to the point where I'm humming the opening song. Like, as it's going, I'm humming the opening song.
That is adorable. Oh my goodness.
Also, is Papa Gollum gonna just, like, drop Somali off at the first round of humans he finds? Or is he...
Probably.
Or are they trying to find her parents?
I think they're trying to find her... I think they're just trying to find humans. I think he just wants some humans to take care of her.
Also, well, yes, but also I kind of think, like, originally he wanted to find her parents, but time is getting to be a crunch, so he's gotta just find any humans.
Speaking of that crunch time, by the way, we do get an actual, like, an accurate amount of time that they've spent on their journey, and it is just a hair shy of half of a year, by the way.
Yeah,
so we find out he has, during this very heartfelt talk that they have at the fireside, when Haitora, mentions the village with knowledge from all over the world, you hear Gollum say that Papa Gollum's only got 301 days left, which means there's 64 days into his last year, and he had like 64 days into his last year, and he had 112 days left outside of a year, which means 112 plus 64, 176, which is like 25 weeks and a day, which is basically like 6 months.
Oh.
So it means like they've been together for like 6 months, which is actually crazy to think about. It means each episode has been a month.
Oh, jeez. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. And I'm sure it's very
between the
mundane
pages,
and plain,
so to speak.
But like, I'm sad. I'm gonna like cry. I don't.
It was. This was. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I can definitely like. I am sad to know that Somali's gonna have to be without Papa Gollum one day. But also, I have this image in my head of an entire series based around adult Somali.
Me too! It would be so cool.
Right? I want that.
I'm so terrified to read the manga. Like, I refuse to until the anime is done.
Me
just
too.
because, like, I don't want spoilers.
No. Normally, I try to jump ahead and read the manga and be like, I want to be ahead. I want to know if it follows the manga. But this one, like, I started with the anime, so I'm just gonna go with it. No
it's so
spoilers.
Beautiful. It's so freaking beautiful.
It is. I thought, oh man, speaking of beautiful, like, when they started getting into the denser forest, my heart just dropped. I was like, oh. Yes, we're back into the fantasy land that I want to see. And like, oh my gosh, I can't tell if it's getting to be fall or if the forest just had purple leaves.
I would assume it's actually getting to be fall because, like I said, we know that they've been together for 6 months.
And
it didn't look wintry when they started.
Did it?
It didn't. Oh, I'm saying it didn't look wintry.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, no. I also think that since they made the comment before, like, oh, it's getting colder, that's how you know you were getting to the forest. Yeah, that's fall right there. So I'm wondering how winter's gonna go for them.
Yeah, I wonder if we're actually gonna see that. That's interesting. Huh. So okay. So I just want to comment, like, that library. Badass.
It is very
that witch
badass.
Village, badass.
Okay, so I do have to make a comment because I write notes while I'm watching the anime, And I paused when they first got into the village, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at those lights. It just, it creates an entire haze around the city. And in my notes I wrote, looks like a good place to get a good meal. And, literally I pressed play, and they were like, hey, you want snacks? Want some snacks? Here's some snacks. And I was like, oh my god, I'm a fucking psychic.
Oh, you're just too connected to this show.
It was amazing. I love this show so much. But yeah, I thought it was a beautiful city, and also I thought that the library was a castle at first.
I mean, to these people who are obsessed with knowledge, it kind of is.
True. And it's the Witch's Crest building. Sorry, the Witch's Crest Library. Oh, I want to go there. I want to go there. Also, I feel like the top bun witch that was offering them snacks in the beginning was kind of stalking them.
Oh, well, what do you mean?
Because later, she offered... I think she was the first witch to offer them snacks. And then later on, she was, walking around while they were on the steps and overheard their conversation and was like, oh, I know exactly where you want to be. And I was like, oh, okay, do you have anything else to do? No? Alright.
I don't know. Maybe she just... if I'm hazarding a guess, I think it probably wasn't intentional. I think it might have just been an accident of wanting to be a bit cheaper and use less character models.
Oh yeah, I guess that does make sense.
But I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't put it past the show, actually. I mean, they do all kinds of twisty-turny stuff all the time, so...
Honestly, I think this episode had the biggest budget.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
This is the most expensive episode of the show.
So, essentially, the library, as amazing and as gorgeous as it is, we don't get that much of a view of it. We essentially get Top Buns, which I keep thinking Top Gun, which makes me think of her in sunglasses and a jet. So this is just weird, but Top Buns.
She went to the danger zone. Danger zone.
Oh gosh. Okay. we can't sing the whole thing. We'll get copyright strikes.
Stop.
So so Top Buns with her stalking food salesman skills is yeah, let me just give you the tour around the library and then maybe sell you some snacks.
I didn't realize when she first pointed it out to them that she actually went into the building and found Hazel for them.
Right, she found a librarian for them to be hey, show them this, they're looking for a certain type of book, et cetera, et cetera. And it's interesting that they just don't bat an eye in this culture to people wanting to come and learn, which I love. I love the fact that,
I was going to say, that's a good thing to have.
It's interesting. And I love that we got the answer to your question from last episode. The witches are humanoid, but physiologically different. They are apparently their own clan. And you can, I still have a feeling that maybe it's clan traversant. Maybe there are witches that could join from other clans, but it's I don't know, maybe not. But I think there's a sort of a transient thing we might see in the future. Because what happens if two people from two different clans mate, and make a baby?
Ooh.
And we haven't seen that at all in this show.
No.
So.
Wonder if we ever will.
Well, with 12 episodes, maybe not. But and in an expanded version, I'm sure we would. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see.
So,
but regardless, magic is apparently clan-based, and apparently witches have very intriguing ways of using magic, and have been doing this whole knowledge gathering thing. It's kind of their obsession, and they've been doing it for as long as they can remember, since the old ages, as they say in the anime.
I'm really yawning. Oh yeah. Hazel is my girlfriend.
Hazel is the top librarian that they found, that Top Buns found for us. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah. And I love that Hazel is like, oh, you should come meet my sister, Praline. Yeah. Because,
originally
they're both,
she wasn't really going to show him, but, like, she was like, ah, crap. I know exactly where this fucking book is.
I know, but it was just, I love that they're named Hazel and Praline, because they're both fucking nuts.
Oh my god, yes. That's funny. I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about
how beautiful Hazel is.
Yeah. Oh no, the uniforms. So like, I guess, I mean, like, do all witches have uniforms? I noticed some were in different uniforms, but like some of them were straight up in uniform.
It's probably just a day job thing. You have your apron that you wear at a butcher's, and you have your
I do
as a barista.
Of books.
Huh?
I do want to be a protector of books.
Well,
like,
I mean, go get your magic wand. I mean, I hear you can get some down in Orlando.
What'd you say?
I said, go get your magic wand. I hear you can get some down in Orlando.
I mean, so. I already have the Elder Wand in my room.
Oh, good,
here.
Good. So I think you're all set, realistically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's sad that you had to kill somebody to get it, but hey, it's all yours.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, we go up, we see Hazel, which, I want to also make a note, Somali is so eager to learn about her own people. But also, like, does she know how to read? Has she gotten a formal education of how to read?
She knows enough how to read because she can tell, maybe she can read, because you remember, they're like, oh, the book is by Hitori, and she goes, Hitori,
yeah,
Hitori, looking
so
at the spines.
Remember it. But also, the book didn't have any writing on the side of
the spine. It. That's true. She did recognize it by the eye, so maybe, I don't know, it's a hint that maybe she can read, which is fascinating to me.
Or she at least wants to learn.
Yeah.
Which is really cute.
It is. It's adorable. And this series nails that childlike intrigue and innocence, and like that conversation. Like I want to just hop back to earlier. No. I'll save this for the character part, because Gollum went through some incredible character development today. Ooh, baby, Papa Gollum.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. I guess we forgot to mention when. Earlier, when Haitora and Papa Gollum were sitting at the campfire, Papa Gollum was like, hey, yo, I feel this thing in my chest.
That's what I was going to talk about later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but we can talk about it now. It's fine. I was just excited because I was going to save that for the character thing, but you're right. It is so interesting and important, and just like, it's so good.
It was kind of a change, because you remember last episode we were talking about how we didn't think he had enough emotion?
Right, and I think this is a weird, like, course correct. I think the only real problem this anime has is trying to portray a thing that doesn't have emotions, or maybe it does and just doesn't believe it has emotions.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. But like,
we did get to see emotion from
Papa Gollum put his hand on his heart, and he's like, I get a lightness here. This part of me feels lighter when I know that Somali is okay. And it's like, It was so much heart. Oh, so much heart.
So good. Okay, so we meet Praline, which
once we find that the book is gone, we find Praline.
They go up and Hazel's like, I know where the fuck this book is, and we go.
See,
up
we've
and
got
we
an
meet her
infestation of
sister.
bookworms here. Oh, by the way, I would love to just talk about that for a second. They're like, yeah, this library has an infestation of bookworms, and I was like,
For
Somali
a second,
goes,
I thought it was gonna
worms?
be a monster.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was excited, actually. I was excited for like a little tiny bookworm book-eating monster or something.
I mean,
and
we
like,
kind of did get that.
yes, but don't jump ahead, you know.
I mean, hopefully,
yeah.
if you're listening to this, hopefully you've seen the episode already, so you can kind of keep up and, form your own opinions on it. But if you are watching this before the episode, sorry, spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I guess I think we've made that pretty clear by now. Watch the episode, then come listen to us.
We're an afterthought.
How self-deprecating of you. So I just love that, it's like, oh, bookworms, and Somali and I at the same time said, worms? Like, I said at the same time she did in the fucking anime. It made me laugh my ass off. It's just like, yeah, I want to see a book-eating worm. That'd be amazing. Or even just a monster that just wants to learn. I would love that. That would be cool.
That would have been really cool if she literally led them to a giant worm that was reading a book. Kind of like an Alice in Wonderland kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be all Alice in Wonderland shit. Yeah, I'd love it.
That would be fun.
But instead we get the play on words bookworm from her sister, a bookworm who's just a woman obsessed with reading books. And Praline is absolutely my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we got
my
our
God.
girlfriends.
Oh man, that be me new waifu.
Let's go on a double date.
Oh god, it was so good.
Let's get some of those
my
snacks
gosh.
at the front entrance.
And I just have to say, like, I'm all about those book reading gals.
She
I love
is
me some
quite
bookworms.
nice. Like, if Hazel wasn't a thing, I would totally go for Praline.
Also, just the little stupid anime fang. I don't know why, but it gets me. I
like
don't
her
know why,
booty
but it
shorts.
gets me. Oh god, yeah. All right. Anyway, that's not what this anime is about. So, anyway, whew. So Praline is awesome, and Praline, like myself, is a bit of a slob and just has books akimbo, just books everywhere. And the two sisters, discuss and mention, like, hey, there's it's here somewhere. It's by Haitori. You're welcome to go look for it. It's got a little eye on the spine.
And everybody sets out to look for it.
Exactly. Whilst Praline has a big old nerdgasm over the fact that she's seeing a golem in real life.
Oh yeah,
which was fun.
I really like how everyone knows what a golem is, but they've never seen one before. Like, that just puts into perspective how reserved golems usually are.
Yeah. It kind of honestly it just constantly makes me think of a robot, because it's like everybody knows what a robot is, but nobody's seen a robot, like, an android,
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows what you mean when you say an android, but, like, nobody's seen an android. And if you see an android in person, it's like, whoa, an android!
Hey, my cat is now an android.
Your cat's now a cyborg.
My cat's got a robot penis.
But that's called a cyborg.
My cat got surgery on his wee-wee, and now he's got a little piece of plastic in there. He's a cyborg or an android, whatever you want to call it. My cat's cool. He's
Your
also
cat
got
is
a cone
cool.
on his head.
Your cat is cool with his cool cone.
Alright, but anyway. So, Somali finds the book.
Yeah. And as soon as she pulls it out, like, I thought this was this crazy thing where when she pulled it out, like, dark green magic stuff just started swirling.
I thought it was
I don't know about you, but I thought
it.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought the goop was gonna be some kind of like acidic blah stuff that like grew there, and it was gonna like fall on her and be acid, and I was like, oh shit. But
No,
then they
I
all
thought it
turned
was-
into fish.
I thought it was actually going to be a magical security system that's like supposed to prevent people from who aren't witches from reading it, or like maybe that Praline put on her books to make sure nobody took them, or
Yeah.
or even more interesting, I thought it was maybe a human detector. Like, it's a book about humans, so maybe humans want to read it kind of thing. So maybe it was like no humans allowed, and I thought maybe it was going to be like a magical attack against a human.
Yeah.
And
But
so
no,
I was like,
it's book-eating fish. I have a, what is it? It's the
they're pesca fish.
pesca fish, yeah.
Which, by the way, for my Latin lovers out there, that means fish.
It's the fish.
It's just the fish.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yep, pesca. That's why pescatarians eat fish.
Oh.
Yep.
How dumb.
No, it's just, I mean, nobody really, like, very few people, that's not, like, super common knowledge, I don't think. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't know how often you need to go around calling fish by their Latin
I know what
name,
a pescatarian is.
Well, still, anyway, it's fine.
It didn't connect the two. That's alright.
There's lots of times that people do that, though. Anyway, so you're not dumb. That's my point. You're not a dumb person.
Well,
you're
thank
fine.
you.
But I love that they're just called fish. So the magical fish eat books. Their favorite flavor is ink on paper, as the anime says.
I really love that they transform, like when they're almost dormant, they're just a blob, and then when they're like almost aggroed, they're a fish.
Yeah. And they're very magical fish because 1, they fly through the air, 2, they don't need water, and 3, as we see after an adorable onslaught of magical penguins and magical rose petals attack from Praline and Hazel respectively, in which we find out Praline is much more powerful but much more lazy, and Hazel is much more effective as a witch in terms of combative magic. But after that lovely little display of magical penguins and roses, we find out that they can transform into a giant fish if they, pull their bodies together.
That's like when you alright, go defeat this boss.
Yeah.
Round 2, here we go.
It was very like, this isn't even my final form. It was very, very anime.
It was very anime without having any words. Well, I mean, there were words, but not from the fish. Man, okay, so can we talk about how, I don't understand why these fish were so into the book? The Chronicles of Haraizo?
I think it's like Haitora or something. Or no,
I've got it written down here. It's Haraizo.
Oh, Haraizo. That's it. I think I said Haitora earlier.
Yes, you did.
I'm too used to saying our human boy.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So anyway,
why the heck? That kind of it made me feel like that fish was targeting that book. Like for some reason, somebody put those on there in order to destroy it, so that they couldn't learn about humans.
Yeah, I don't know. It was maybe, but I also just think it probably is one of those things where when you have a wild animal on your hands and they're just you take, there's plenty of food around, but you take their food. You take the food they were already eating.
It also kind of makes me think of if I give my horse hay and I put the hay in his hay net, he doesn't want to eat that hay. Sorry. He doesn't want to eat the hay that's in the hay net. But if I take that same hay and I put a little clump in my hand, then he's all over it. That's kind of what it makes me think of.
Huh. Yeah, I would equate it to that pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Animals are finicky like that sometimes.
But, so, final boss, big old fish, and there's really, Hazel and Praline are kind of just at wit's end. They're like, oh shit, well, we really don't have anything for this, or at least they're like caught up in the moment. And this big fish is looking at Somali like, bitch, I want that book, give it over.
And Somali's like, no, it's my book, I'm gonna keep the book.
I gotta protect it. And she starts running away, and I would totally do this myself. She trips, and the book goes flying. And oh no, the fish gets it.
Yeah.
Obviously the fish gets it, but then the fish turns around and is like, all right, I got that book. Now I'm gonna
I get that you.
And then Papa Gollum's like, bitch, nah, I'ma fight back. You can't touch my Somali. That's my daughter.
Yeah, which I want to touch on this before you hit that point that you're about to make. I just want to slide in. There's an awesome little thing that we've seen, like Papa Gollum's getting a better and better father, and as soon as with every episode, and as soon as he sees, the fish is targeting the book. Somali, drop the book. As soon as he realizes that, he's like, Somali, drop the book and come over here. He's like trying to protect her. He's all about being a papa, and I love it. I love how papa he is.
Your life is more important than the knowledge in that book.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you. I just had to say that. It's just it's so nice to see in this episode.
It is. So Papa Gollum jumps on in and does one of those hand stops, the
X
fish.
The X with your arms thing.
Yeah, it does the X. And instead of just this is kind of the moment that I was waiting for with Papa Gollum, to see his I don't know if it's his final form as well, but his magnum opus moment of unleashing his power.
Yeah.
And man, I like the kind of skeleton wings thing.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I also like that they were kind of like knives. So he just fucking rips into this. He doesn't really need to do anything but just stab the fish with his bony wings.
Yeah.
But isn't it called the Purge?
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Just wait till Papa Gollum breaks out the Purge. Then you'll be in deep shit.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great. His eye goes from green to orange, which I found was an interesting choice, and then he purges the hostile. What was the line? Hostile foreign entity detected. Must purge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he did. It was both very robotic and very emotional.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was pretty great. It was pretty great.
But,
so post stabby stabs and fish exploding.
Yeah, it didn't take long. It literally just took one stab of his wings and it was gone.
Yep, and that after that we find that the book is completely ruined, just completely sullied.
All covered in ink from the fish.
Yeah, ink or spittle or goo. I don't understand. They said that they eat the information from the book, but the ink gets all over the book.
My interpretation of it was how, I can't remember, I think it's flies, they throw up acid on their food and then they eat it.
Yeah,
It was kind of like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But, so it's all ruined, and Hazel and Praline are like, man, you know what? We can't fucking read this. It's covered in ink, but there is one person who can read it, or something like that, or who has read it.
They were like, hey, let's check the registry and see who's checked it out. Oh, shit, only one person has checked it out, 300 years ago.
And that person was, and I'm gonna butcher this, Isolde Nabusolive? Oh my gosh, it's so hard to say. I'm sure if I listen
They're
to
top
them pronounce
librarian.
it
They're
before.
head librarian.
They're
That's just the head librarian.
Head librarian. There's Hazel, who's the top librarian, and then there's this other woman who is the head librarian.
like big old, and lives in like a what looks like a giant canopy bed with tentacles.
Yeah, I was
Judging by the ending image.
It kind of looked like some kind of like
Yeah.
cocoon.
Yeah, it was interesting looking.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna see that next episode, which I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that did you watch the little preview?
Oh, I never do.
Okay, so from what it
you can
looks
spoil it
like,
for me. It's fine.
From what it looks like, next episode we're gonna get to see this head librarian's past, and I think that she, in her younger years, met a golem that was at its life end. And I think we're probably gonna get some kind of like backstory. This is what I know about golems. Oh, it's so good to see one again.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting. I'm intrigued. Do you want to go as far as do you want to go first in terms of like tapping on our
sure, yeah,
our
I'll
big
go
3
first.
points?
So, plot-wise, there was a lot of plot progression. I liked the amount that they gave us, which I didn't expect that much when I came into this episode. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, they're gone from the old crew and they're on a new journey. Like, no, we got a little bit of wrap-up from the last episode, which I felt was kind of unnecessary, but it was kind of nice to see as well. There was quite a bit of plot progression here. As we were saying before, plot progression in this is kind of like moving to a different city, meeting new people, and we got quite a bit of that this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Setting-wise, a lot of settings. It was not like the previous episodes where we just had like one or two. I think we had like, man, too many for me to count at least.
Yeah, there's really at least 3. There's 2 in the montage, and then there's 2 or 3 in the montage, and then there is the first locale in the desert, the second locale in the desert, wherever they stop for camp in the night, and then there's the city itself, the library itself, and then it's just so much
there's
stuff.
There's a lot of river travel here. Like there's a lot of traveling next to a river. Yes. Which I felt like Somali eating the fish was kind of a nice callback to the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
And I like the like travel montage thing because it's kind of an easy way to show the different settings of where they are. It showed the transition between the environments. And I really loved the I don't know. I like places where you have to take a specific road to get to the city or to get to that village. Yeah. And like I love tree domed pathways. And
there's something like that downtown in our city. We have one of those. Yeah, they decided to grow these very wide-branched trees that basically they put them on either side because they branch out so far that they reach across to each other and make a full dome over the road.
I'm going to have to see that.
It's pretty great.
I'm going to have to see that because I love it. And the fact that, like, it went from the tree dome all the way, like, it just straight up opened up into the city. And I can't tell if the city is, like, in the forest or in, like, a cave of some kind. I
thought like a cave.
Because it looked that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a cave of trees. Also, I am here for buildings that have trees growing through them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so also something we have in Atlanta is... there's a place called the Righteous Room. Shout out to that bar. It's got really good onion rings. The middle of the bar is a fairly large, I think, oak tree.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. It's
what
pretty great.
I'm
It just
here
comes
for.
right up through the floor and then right out the ceiling.
That's great.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really like that. I love the design of this city. It reminds me a lot of a city from one of my favorite games, Bravely Default. I can't remember the name of the city off the top of my head, but it's pretty much the same thing, and it's kind of like a Venice-themed area with a lot of lights and magical theme. But yeah, I think that's all I have for setting. I'm interested to see the setting of the top librarian next time.
Yeah, me too.
And then character.
Yeah.
Oh man. I got a new girlfriend this episode, so I
Yes.
can't be mad at all. We both got girlfriends this episode.
Likewise. Oh god, yeah. Seriously.
I love the character design in this show. Like, everyone's uniquely different, even though we have what appear to be humans. You know, they're actually witches, but they look human. It's definitely, they each have their own flair, which, like, I know that anime has a very kind of base for what people look like, but this episode seems to do a very good job of making it unique.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It was very fascinating. I loved it, and I love everybody's design. There's no bad designs in this episode. All the witch characters look really fun, and I like that there's actually like 3 or 4 witch characters that have similar enough features that you think they're maybe related, but like there's something unique specifically about them. Like one of them will have completely different hair, or one of them will have a completely different uniform or something. And like, I'm wondering if that's a character model choice in pre-production, or if that's like actually like a story thing where like maybe there are homunculi, or maybe there are like familiars or something, or maybe there's like cloning magic, because all the ones that look alike are all selling stuff. And so it was like, did you like clone yourself to like go sell food?
Oh, that
which would be a fascinating
sketchy
idea. It'd be weird and kind of interesting. I don't know.
That might be an explanation for the amount of top bun girls that are out there.
Mm-hmm. Good old top buns.
The top buns. But anyway,
So-
you go ahead. You go ahead and do your points.
Yeah, so let's see here. So with plot, I would say I'm completely satisfied. We got a soupçon of action. We got a little bit of spicy drama. A little bit of like... And I liked it. You know, it was very like, oh, Somali needs to find out about her past. But now she can't. But will she? Maybe. Who knows?
happen?
Tune in next time. It was very like... It was very, I don't know, it was very melodramatic for this show. You know what I mean? It wasn't melodrama, but it was like, compared to the drama we've had in this show, this was like downright melodramatic.
Oh, I had a thought. I just want to add this in.
Yeah.
So this town said that it's known for its medicine and its food. Like, that's what they capitalize on.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the only town where Somali's not gonna get sick.
Yes, probably.
Like, in the one place that medicine's gonna be, like, the best, that she's not gonna get sick this time.
Yeah, which I think you're absolutely right. I do.
But go on.
I guess plot is basically just, it was nice and dramatic. We had a lot of fun points with Somali. Like, there's a run through for the entire episode from scene, like the second scene all the way to the final scene, where we're just sitting there watching Somali try and wrestle with this idea of not knowing anything about humans and wanting to learn about humans, and losing what she feels is the only opportunity to learn about humans. And
that
obviously
makes
it's
you
not
wonder
true, but
how long she was alone for.
yeah, me too. I hope not very long, but I have a feeling a little bit, you know, or at the very least, if not a little bit, then she's probably never had anybody to like confide or talk to about stuff.
I just
you know?
I wanna know her past.
Me too. I really do hope we get an episode at least somewhere about it.
Yeah,
I'll even take a prologue or an OVA.
definitely. Or maybe a movie.
Or epilogue, not prologue, sorry. But, yeah. Yeah, a movie would be nice. Yeah. So, I don't know. I would say, though, yeah, let's see. Now, as far as character, absolutely, I agree with you. 100% could not be better. We got new waifus. We got our first, like, attractive people in this series. Like,
Yes, we did.
oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Just like mwah, beautiful. Freaking and they're fun. They're fun characters with fun quirks. And
I really want to know more about their past, but I know this episode we really didn't have time for that.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe we'll get more time for that next episode.
And like I mentioned, Papa Gollum being extra papa this episode and extra emotional. I love that we're getting more development in that regard. I love that he's almost like a fully actualized parent at this point. He's still learning, but he's realized that like he's gonna make mistakes, but he's got to grow with them. And I love that he's starting to do that. It really feeds into this show's theme, and it really feeds into this show's whole point and its whole plot, which is just, you know, them adventuring together and becoming a father and daughter duo, and it's beautiful to watch. Same for Somali. Somali's grown into a little bit of a punk, but it's a fun punk.
Yeah, it's a fun punk. She doesn't mean anything bad by it.
But she's just being very playfully like jabbing, you know.
Yeah.
But she's being a little playful punk, a little scamp. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's as far as plot in character, that's really, I don't know. That's all I can think to say.
Okay, what about setting?
I'll backtrack on that a little bit. I like that Haitora and Uzoi do go forward, they go forward with the notion of like, oh, I'll do my best to not let you cry ever again. And she's like, yeah, you could try. And she kind of turns around and has a little wry smile. And, she's like, hey, maybe someday we'll get through this. And she even says, like, I'm not through this, but someday, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that everybody had really mature stuff going on this episode. Everybody was really solidly mature, except for the adorable witch ladies, who were perfectly immature. And just fun. They were just absolutely fun. And that was... So as far as setting, I loved it. I loved the multitude of settings that we got. It kind of feels like it was a makeup test or makeup day, for like all the lack of setting in the last episode.
Yeah.
And I still loved it. I think it did fabulous, and I'm so happy that we got such a pretty city to be in, and we're in it for 2 whole episodes, which is fabulous.
I'm wondering if it'll go into 3, but it seems to be
maybe.
It seems to be a trend that it goes for 2 episodes.
Yeah, the only episodes that weren't part of 2-parters are literally the first 2 episodes, which are the only solo stories that we have.
Yeah. But
I have a feeling it'll be 2-parters all the way through until maybe the finale, which will be either a 3-parter or a 4-parter, but that's my guess.
We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see.
All right. Well, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for next week.
Me too. This episode was all I wanted it to be and more.
Oh, ditto. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was fabulous.
All right. Well, make sure to leave your own opinions in the comment. Leave anything that you think we missed or anything that you really liked about this episode. Got anything else to add, Russell?
No, just make sure, tell us stuff you'd like to hear about the episode, anything in the future you'd like to hear about, or, if you want us to cover more topics specifically, or exciting things we missed, like you said, or anything like that. Leave it in the comments. If you like it, give it a like. If you don't bother. We hope to see you next time. And oh my gosh, if nothing else, please go watch Somali and the Forest Spirit. Oh,
It's so good. You don't even have to listen to our opinions. Just go watch it.
just go watch it. It's so
Just
beautiful.
go watch it.
It's so good.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys next time. And thanks
Yeah.
for listening.
And thanks for podding with me, Kat.
Thank you for podding with me, Russell.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.